staple of Nigerian cuisine, with roots deeply embedded in the rich soil of West Africa. A dish that represents nourishment, unity, and cultural heritage. From humble kitchens to bustling streets, fufu has been at the heart of Nigerian meals for centuries, and now it's at the heart of something even bigger. Meet Kehinde Oluwayemisi Cecilia Omojuigbe Efevogo, known as KCO, the visionary founder of the Fufu factory. With over 25 years of trailblazing experience, KCO is more than just a business leader. She is a force of nature, redefining success across industries. From revolutionizing the banking and insurance sectors to now leading the charge in sustainable, delicious food production, KCO is proof that passion, perseverance, and purpose can change the world. At the Fufu factory, KCO has transformed the traditional Nigerian dish into a symbol of sustainability and innovation. By merging the past with the future, she's not just feeding the people, she's nourishing the planet one bite at a time. A lifelong learner, KCO sharpened her skills at some of the world's top institutions. Whether in the classroom, boardroom, or kitchen, she's always ahead of the curve, leading with an infectious energy that sparks dreams and inspires action. Join us as we go on this remarkable journey with KCO. Fufu may feed the body, but KCO feeds the soul. And with her vision and her brainchild, the Fufu factory, anything is possible.
My name is Kehinde Oluwayemisi Cecilia Omojuigbe. I'm a happy person. I love what I do. After a journey of over 23 years in the corporate world, getting to the very peak of my career as an MD, not just as an MD, but as an MD expatriate of an insurance company, it's joy to be back to where I call my happy place, and that is food processing and manufacturing. And that is one of the story or the journey of the Fufu factory. It wasn't out of lack of not knowing what else to do. I have a flair for interior design. I love beautiful spaces. I'm sucking by them. But then, during my journey as an expatriate, I do quite a bit of traveling around the West African coast. And I realized that was one common swallow that we have around the West Africa and East Africa. Fufu is actually eaten by the whole of the West Africa. I'm talking about Lome, Sierra Leone, Cameroon, Ivory Coast, Liberia, Ghana. Across the West Africa and East Africa is a commonness swallow. Also is eaten by Jamaicans, West Indians, and you'll be shocked. The highest like on TikTok was actually a fufu being made by a Chinese woman. She's got over 2.7 million likes. During my journey, I did a lot of traveling, and I realized that this is the food that everybody eats. But one thing is so common about it is the space or the environment in which it is made. The environments are usually very, very unfriendly. If you're a very neat and detailed person that are careful about what you eat, you wouldn't really want to eat it. And so when I came back, so that started the journey of why is it that people don't really get to make fufu like they do pounded yam at home by themselves? And it's simple reason. The process of making it was tedious. And that's how I did my research, and that's how the Fufu factory was battered. Part of the Fufu factory journey was that we were going to make fufu. Like I said, I started doing my own research, and then I find out that there's a conception that fufu is actually meant for the lower class in the society. And the elite, the Gen Z, were just losing out on it. Because, it will surprise you that fufu is actually a super sexual enhanced food. It enhances your libido. It enhances your sperm count. It's actually good for fertility. It boosts your energy. And so I decided to do more of my research and see, because in this age and century, the customer do not just want to buy. They want to know what they're buying. Fufu is actually like what you call a superfood, because apart from the benefits that you derive from cassava, which cassava is is a carbohydrate food, which means that gives you super energy. The minerals in cassava is magnesium, calcium, folate. You also have vitamins like vitamin B, vitamin C, which are super necessary for the body. As a matter of fact, if you have 200 grams of fufu in a day, you will have potentially taken 50% of the calcium that is needed for your system for that day. That's how wonderful it is. And so what that does is that it helps your bone, and it also helps your skin. And because we do not understand the benefit in this food, it seems like it's actually for just the lower class. And part of the reason is because people don't get to easily access cassava, because yes, there are processes to making fufu, and it is assumed that where a lot of it comes out from is really poor hygiene. And that's what took me into fufu processing, and also battered our ready to eat. The idea is for us to produce food that are awesome and imparting in people's life. Because when you eat food that are awesome, then you have less to deal with in terms of your health. So we basically say eat to health, because your food is actually supposed to be your medicine. Part of the challenges faced as an entrepreneur on this journey is not exclusively to me, but them. Just like Nigeria or all over the world, there is the rate of inflation. And then every morning you wake up, the cost of your raw material is really not what it was yesterday. And so for new businesses like us, it's a really tough journey trying to determine or fix your pricing. And it's been part of the reason why even approaching investors has been a bit of a challenge. For example, you take up a loan, 1 month, 2 months down the lane, the bank is changing the exchange rate. It's tough. The materials that we needed, one of the things that has been my guiding principle going into this business, I said to myself first that I wanted to be very, very minute import dependence, because I am after all processing food, and I get my raw material from Nigeria. But our packaging has been one of the places where we have to think about importing, because we wanted to maintain to the highest standard quality, not in terms of just the aesthetic, but in terms of the safety for the food that we're selling. And it's very important for us. But one day to the other, every day, you find out that the price of your raw material, the materials are changing. Another thing is, after being in a financial corporate world for over 20 years, coming to deal with the level of the kind of people I have to relate with in terms of labor, it's been very, very demanding on my soul. It's taught me a lot of lessons, made me grow faster than I thought I would grow, has actually extended me as a human and make me so conscious of, I have to understand that I need to calm down to their level to be able to get my result. And also, it's been a very interesting journey for me doing marketing, because when I go out and I'm doing marketing, and the moment I say fufu, people countenance change. They looked at you funny, and it's actually been it's been a very interesting journey, but there's nothing there that is not surmountable, because for us, like I said, one of the things we made up our mind from ab initio was we were going to have to be almost little or no dependency on importation. And then we're almost a zero waste generating business. And so in terms of environmental sustainability, it's been a top thing on our agenda. We're conscious of what's the waste we generate to the environment. We have from A to Z almost a zero waste. We do clean energy, unlike the other people. We do clean energy. We try to make sure we don't use, we have little or no waste. It will interest you to know that we're actually working towards being able to reuse our water, because of that's our vision, to be able to really use. Like, for example, if you look at our packaging material from beginning, it was meant to be not one-time use for packaging. You were meant to use it over and over again. And the same apply for not just the ready to eat, but also the paste. They were intentional. After spending over 25 years in corporate world, learning strategy, learning marketing, safety, it will only make sense to bring those things into this business. One of the most interesting things on this journey for me has been that a lot of people cannot believe that Fufu Factory is just going to be 1 year. When people see our brand, they assume we're older than what we are. I remember a very pleasant experience. I was in a restaurant with a friend, and somebody saw the package in my hand, and I said, Fufu. I don't know how she gets to hear me say Fufu Factory. And she woke up to me and she said, Fufu Factory, Fufu Factory. You know, I look forward to the day where, even at the international airport, where people will call me Fufu Factory. When I introduce myself to people now, I call myself Kendi Omoni Fufu. That's how proud of this journey that I am. Because at the Fufu Factory, we take pride in what we're trying to do, in what we're doing. And that is that bringing technology, innovation into the old traditional thing that we've always had, and making it healthy, awesome, unadulterated for people to eat, and that people can eat it with confidence and they can actually hold it. And I just want to appreciate everybody that had made this brand go beyond what it is, because we've had a lot of people use our products for party souvenirs. We have different segment of our market. We are a B2B business, and we're also a B2C business. We provide support to restaurants by making the ready-to-eat fufu. We have the top 5 restaurants in Nigeria at the moment as our client, that we deliver thousands of wraps of fufu to every day. We also understand the market of the gift or private label and or what you call party. For example, at Christmas, we branded our packs for Christmas, just for our client to be able to easily give to people as Christmas present without them bothering their head about extra wrappers, just to say thank you. We also do for parties. We brand the packaging for parties if you want to use it for souvenir. And we have our own branded packs. And the same apply to the ready to eat. We have our branded retail packs for ready to eat, but we also have unbranded wraps for restaurant. So it doesn't matter how big the restaurant is or how small the restaurant is. We're willing to work. And one of the things that we take pride in for us as a business is that because we understand that when people trust us with food that they are not cooking or they are going to cook, they trust what is in our label. And our promise is to constantly, consistently deliver on what we promise. So we partner with one of the best farms in Nigeria. We source our cassava directly from them. There's lab analysis on the cassavas that we use. We just don't do just as much as is for local farmers is fantastic, because we want to continuously deliver at a particular level. We had to partner with a very big farm, and this is me saying thank you to all our partners. I'm grateful for everybody that has bought into us, every restaurant and hotels that has opened their door to us, everybody that used us as their souvenir. We're really thankful, and we look forward to doing this better.
Hi, Candy.
Thank you.
I see that the brand is called the Fufu Factory.
Yes, please.
The first question that comes to mind is why Fufu?
Why Fufu? And why not Fufu?
Excellent. So tell me about this business.
So Fufu Factory, across the West Africa and East Africa, Jamaicans, West Indians, and even Chinese people are now beginning to eat fufu.
Wow, interesting.
One of the highest for fufu on TikTok is by a Chinese woman. And she's got over 2.7 million likes. She made fufu.
Really?
Yes. And as much as eba, pounded yam seems very popular in Nigeria, that's because we are Nigerians and our population is large. It's not the same way across West Africa.
Right.
So Liberians don't eat pounded yam. Liberians don't eat eba the way we eat eba. And it's the same thing with Togo. It's the same thing with Sierra Leone and across like that. So across the whole of West Africa and East Africa, one of the most commonest food we have, apart from the debate on jollof rice, is actually fufu.
Really?
The most common one is actually cassava fufu. And so that's why fufu.
Interesting. So how long have you been doing this?
We're going to be 1 year this month, at the end of this month.
And how has it been?
It's been a very interesting journey.
So tell me about the customers, tell me about your experience, tell me about the facts and figures, and tell me about the money that you've been making.
Okay. So the customers, and that's what we're trying to get. If you go from today, begin to look, you will see that even by the roadside stores, you will see fufu wraps in cellophane bags, in light packs, and it's been sold by everywhere.
Right.
There is no roadside booker that you will not get fufu. That's how common it is for the lower class.
Right.
Some people call it 6 to 6, but they call it 6 to 6 because they make it really hard.
Right.
And so it keeps you, and it gives you energy. And that's the beauty of fufu. It gives you energy. But for anybody, you need energy anyway. And so all you need to do is for a balanced meal is a little portion of fufu with very good soup, with good protein and vitamins, and you're good for the day. If you take a 200 grams of fufu, you have a 200 grams of fufu. Like, for example, I can eat 200 grams of fufu on a sitting. If you do that day, you'll have taken 50% of the calcium needed for your system.
So I'm thinking in line with what you have described, the targeted customers and why they take it. How has it been? Who has been your customers over the last 12 months? What are they willing to pay in terms of your cash flow? How has it been?
Okay, so I'll tell you one thing. There's been a misconception about fufu. So the assumption is that fufu is for the lower class. And that's part of the things that inform our taste. And one of the reasons why a lot of the elites don't eat fufu is because of the smell.
Right.
But that's part of what we bring into the business. Because you actually have the authentic traditional fufu taste without the smell. That's what we give you. And because sometimes you can't take it as hard as it is, the one that you get outside, and a lot of them are actually adulterated. You can actually get our paste and make it by yourself. Let me blow your mind. You can actually have fufu ready by microwave, but in less than 4 minutes.
Oh, really?
Yes, really. So there's a lot of assumptions about it, but it's not that. So every afternoon, every night, you can have a meal of fufu in your house in less than 5 minutes, made by yourself from your kitchen.
So what I'm hearing is quick to make.
Yes, it is quick.
It's not from the lower class.
Oh, it's not for the lower class.
Then who is this for?
Fufu is for everybody.
So how have you been marketing it to everybody? What have they been willing to pay for the different packs of fufu? How has it been translating to money?
It's been translating to money. For right now, one of the first tier restaurants in Nigeria, we supply them the ready-to-eat fufu.
Right.
So we do thousands of wraps of fufu every day at distribute.
Okay.
So that's for our ready-to-eat. And we also have our retail brand for the ready-to-eat. You'll be amazed. We have customers in Banana Island.
I like the sound of that.
We have.
I just like the fact that you're making money. What I want to know is, how do you intend to grow your revenue? How do you intend to grow your cash flow?
Okay, part of the reason why we had to make an informed decisions about where we source our raw materials is understanding that our receivable needs to be shorter than our payable.
Okay.
And so we partner with one of the biggest farms in Nigeria, a corporate farm,
right.
And we have days in which we have a credit line. So call it that. We have a credit line. My background is in finance. I got to the peak of my career as an MD to become here with over $169 million debt and turn it around. So I know one or two things about management.
Excellent.
I know that cash is king.
Absolutely.
And so for us, it's very important. That's part of the reason why we're not yet in every Nigerian supermarket, because we will not do business on the terms that they are doing at the moment.
Right. We're
not going to kill our business to keep them or to want to run to the supermarket. So that's part of the reason why right now 95% of our sales are from our online customers. People book online and they pay cash.
Right.
The restaurants that we deal with, the highest credit line that we have, we actually had to work out of a transaction with one of the restaurants because they were going to do 90 days. We cannot do 90 days.
Payment terms.
That's not business. That's making effort. That's not business. For us, we understand that. And so the highest credit line we have for customers is actually 5 working days.
Interesting. So in view of that, I like the fact that you understand your market. Your finance background is definitely coming into play in terms of how you do your negotiations. But also, we also have to focus on some of those things. It's give and take, right? Mm-hmm. Where I'm thinking what are the strategies you want to be able to use in view of your realities now to scale this business, considering the potentials that you're describing to me that it has, right? So that's what I'm curious to hear. Have you thought about anything?
Yeah.
Are you okay? Please share if you don't mind.
Part of the reason why right now, one of the things we're doing for some time now is to grow our B2C business, B2B business, which is the restaurants business, because one is a continuous flow. Sometimes the restaurants that make order 3 times in a week.
Right.
The continuous flow is a continuous cash flow for us. While we're working on getting to where we want to get and being able to have a more favorable terms with the supermarket, because we just won't do it. We're not in a hurry to run to the market and have our finger beaten. We want to go to the market, and part of why we're doing why we agreed to do this is the brand awareness.
Right.
So that because when more people get to know us and they go to the supermarket and ask for our product, then the supermarket will be willing to actually speak on better terms.
Have you started exporting the product? Is it?
We've not done commercial quantity, but we've actually sent product to 9 countries.
Right. Because the reason why I'm thinking of your cash flow, and I'm thinking, if I were in your shoes, what would I do? What would I consider to do? And one of the things that is coming to mind, which you may want to explore, is contract manufacturing.
Yes.
So, because there are some established brands in this space, right, who do not have the expertise and even the product that you have. But if you sell your products to them and then they package and export to their market, you make your money straight away.
Yes. We're hoping, I've actually said that earlier, we have contract manufacturing.
Right.
But a lot of time that comes in terms of like a souvenir, like a gift, where people will label it for them and they don't know.
Would you consider doing that with another brand that has the footprint globally, such that you want to be able to throw them a new line?
Sure, because like one of the things we really want to do is to have a major representative in England and then in the American market. First of all, one of the special things about our product is that we're not powder, we're paste.
Right.
Now, we're paste because with paste, you still have the authentic traditional fufu taste. When it crosses over to powder, because it's written powder, fufu powder, you know you're eating fufu. But it's no longer, it doesn't have that traditional taste anymore the moment it becomes powder. And so that's why we remain paste. So that being said, our product has to, if we're shipping, we have to ship in a temperature control containers.
Right.
And so for us, if today we have an established brand anywhere in the world and says, look, we want to work with you, we gladly produce it for them in their name if that's what they're comfortable with. We don't have a problem with that.
I'm thinking that might be something you may want to investigate and then also do some research.
We're actually doing that.
Right, because of, particularly think of the people in the diaspora in the Asian continent that typically would want that local feel of fufu. But that said, right, they don't have access right now because even though you've started exporting your product at the early stages, right, but before you get that footprint, that synergy can significantly give you that leverage.
We're actually welcome to that. And let me tell you, one of the things we've done and been proactive about is that our product analysis is actually up to EU standard.
So are you pursuing any form of certification to that effect so that you can allow you enter into those markets? We've
done that. We have our certifications for our product is EU standard. We have an FDA. So today, if we get a buyer in America, we ship without issue.
Right.
That's part of the dream for us to be able to get to that level. And so we're not waiting till there's a buyer. We're ready. So if we get a buyer today, I'm telling you how ready we are to be able to take that opportunity. And we will take the opportunity when it presents itself. So
in terms of financial growth, where do you see Fufu Factory in 12 months' time?
In terms of financial growth, in 12 months' time, Fufu Factory will be on expansion process.
Right.
Because we're expanding and we will still need to expand. We just got equipment that gives us the capacity to go into also Fufu flour. Flour, yes. So we can have the powder. We also, like I said, we're no waste factory business. So we actually almost like on zero waste. So we actually have other products. We have lafo that we make. That's the white amala, which is a byproduct from this.
From fufu.
Yes. So we have that. So that generates its own
revenue
stream for us. And we also understand the different markets that we need to approach. Now we've built the brand to a level. One of the things we want to do actually is be strong in marketing and sales and brand awareness.
So I think just as a way to wrap up, I think that you've done excellently well for yourself and the team over the last 12 months. I clearly see how your background is significantly influencing decision making and how with what you're doing, you can potentially scale it. My advice would also be that to be able to gain more traction, you should leverage more B2B like you're already working on. I would think that beyond the restaurants, which is giving you the needed traction that you you would desire. Working with product manufacturer within the same value chain that you might be able to collaborate with, such that you can give them the product that they don't have, and then they can export to other countries while you still continue with your own plan and agenda. With that, I would want to sound a note of warning though, if you don't mind, because with the business that you are in has a lot of bias already about the product. So there is a tendency for you to want to create awareness and publicity by flogging the public with so much information at the same time. And that can be financially costly in terms of your marketing streams. You can invest so much in marketing and then you are not seeing the traction that you need. It's one of the ways that you can get frustrated as an early stage business owner. Please do it with caution. And I wish you the very best.
Thank you.